Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our rapid revision agricultural extension marathon series. Okay. So as of now, we have completed 2 classes on our series in rapid revision marathon for your upcoming examination. So exam is very nearby. It is in upcoming in the very next month only. So all of you have already read and practiced many questions and all. So consider this as a as the name indicates, it's a rapid revision. So whatever you have learned now, consider it as a revision. So this is the class that we have been taken for more than 6 or 7 months in the general course. But this is all confined in a way that whatever topics are important. See, in the syllabus, not every topics are equally important, right? So whatever is important, that only was a little bit more emphasized here so that you can recollect it fastly. Okay, so in the last two rapid revision courses, like classes, we have completed some chapters starting from the fundamental communication, rural sociology, psychology and all. So today we are seeing two important topics. One is training and another is agricultural extension scheme. So regarding the schemes, I want to tell you one thing. Actually, every year, students were very scared about the schemes. So generally they will ask how many schemes I should study, because not only agriculture, rural development part is also coming in our syllabus, right? So that's why the number of schemes is like too many for anyone to study. So first of all, I want to say that do not get worry about the scheme part, because that is only one a small part about among your whole syllabus, including extension economics and general agri. Okay, so in that there are certain static facts and dynamic facts. So in the static facts, starting from the origin of extension or like some extension schemes from pre-independence up to like some up to 2015 up to 20 and all, you will get in the textbooks and all. So there will be very few questions that may or may not be coming in the very recent years, which is in 2026 or 2025, 4 and all. Okay, so even if you study also, sometimes they frame the questions in a way that not just the name, not just the year, but also very in-depth components or elements, budget outlay and all. So it is impossible for anybody to study all the schemes. Okay, so first of all, I want you to not worry about that. So you have studied some schemes already, especially the pre-independent schemes and all. You might have read it many times. And regarding some of the few important, post-importance also, you might have studied. And many of the times or most of the times, it will be across the match the following. That kind of questions only will be coming. So understand the key concepts of key schemes only. If you started to study you have to collect the data regarding many schemes, like whatever schemes that is currently existing, it means that it is very exhausting. It will be very exhaustive for you also. It should not hinder studying from the other topics. Okay, so first of all, I want to understand you that so we are not covering the entire schemes and entire components and all. No, nothing. We will be covering the key schemes which you have to study anyway. Okay, and some of the very few recent schemes also we have to learn, like what at least what you mean by that, what the government mean by that scheme, that we should learn. Because even in the recent ARS examination also, they have asked about Agri Vista. One is a recent scheme that is just launched in 2026 only. So most of the students were not at all expecting that to ask in a descriptive manner, but they asked. So to avoid that, one of very few and important national wide schemes also we will be covering here. Okay, so first we have two portions, as I told. One is training and another is extension schemes. Oh, I think I forgot to introduce myself. If anybody is new, if anyone is seeing me as for the first time, myself Anu Joshi. I'm currently doing PhD third year in IIR in New Delhi, and I have completed my master's from NDRI and undergraduation from Kerala Agricultural University. And I have secured AR 20 in ICAR JRF examination and AR 7 in SRF examination. I have cleared UGC net with JRF as well as ASRB net in agricultural extension. Okay. Yeah, first we will cover the theoretical part, that is the training. Okay. Training, I think you have read because in GL Ray textbook, which we generally use, in that the training part is very small. Actually, it is coming training and management, that is combinedly given, and the training part is small. But when you read Instant Extension Education by Shruti, there are many points given. Actually, those are the only points that you need to learn. That is like enough for you in JRF level. But the problem is, it is like somewhere some classification or like the proper categorization is missing, so that there can be some confusion. So just when you are like reading, when I will be taking in a way, so that at least you will understand which portion will come under what part. Okay, so it will be a little bit easier for you to remember. So before going into training, we should understand what is human resource development. Okay, so now the term itself we are using as human resource development and capacity building. These are the terms that nowadays we are using. Okay, so human resource development, which means to enhancing the capacity and efficiency of human beings towards performing any specific task. Okay, so I am taking the class here. So if I am given certain supports, maybe like by providing certain infrastructure, maybe providing by training, maybe providing the contents and all. So what will happen? I will improve my ability and capacity and efficiency in performing this particular skill, right? So same happens in the human resource development, and there are many instruments by which we can enhance human resource development, and training is one among them. Okay, so training is an instrument for human resource development. So what is training? There is a standard definition given by Linden and Parikh. I think the Linden and Parikh will be the name that you will be listening all over the time in training. Okay, so training is a process by which the desire, knowledge, attitude and ideas are inculcated, fostered and reinforced in an organism. It will be, you will be getting to know, inculcated, you will be getting to know, and fostered, it will be enhanced. Yeah, 1 second. Where should I cover? Screen is lagging. Okay, 1 second, we will, I think maybe some network issue may come in between. It will be fine. Okay, see, for other than the social science subjects, whoever is studying, like in soil science, someone was mentioning. So most of the times, the schemes will be asking from other subject students. In that also, as I was telling in the beginning, do not much worry about the schemes that is like recent schemes, or because from the 2015 and onwards, it is like a flood of schemes. Okay, so many schemes are like being implemented by many ministries, new ministry scheme and all. So mostly you can focus on the pre-independent schemes and some of the major agricultural related schemes. That's it. Okay. You can refer, if any of your friends are studying for social science, you can ask them for Instant Extension Education by Shruti. That is like a good comprehensive book, so other students can learn about the basic schemes and all. Okay. Okay, so this is about training. So we are learning about the training and what are the functions which we have to take care for when we are giving a training for extension personnel. Extension personnel means any extension staff. So think this is as a situation, the whole course, in the whole like chapter subject, we are learning that we are designing, we are implementing a training program. Okay, so for that, what all we need to know? We need to know the training methodology should be there, like on what basis we should give training. First of all, we need to assess their needs, then we have to plan it, then we have to design it, then we have to implement it, we have to evaluate it. So all these things are actually covered in this course. Okay, so here when we are giving training for extension personnel, what should be the things that we have to take care of? One is, it will be a function of knowledge, skill, attitude. I think this and all we already know, because in education also we see. And some O is there. What is that O? They are other attributes. Other attributes include personality traits, conduct, empathy, experience and self-development. Okay, I think you all might have read it once, so I'll just speed it up a little. Okay, so any doubts again? Schemes only asked. Yeah, some of the schemes which you are mentioned, that we will be discussing today also in the next part, like when we are discussing the schemes. Okay. So training process, first we have to finish the training process, like training chapter. Okay, training process involves 3 phases: pre-training, training, post-training. Easy to remember. Pre-training means the before giving the training, before you are giving the training, there are certain things that we have to know. That is known as the preparatory phase. We should understand what is their needs, what all the like facilities is available in that institution to give the training. All these things will be considered. Understanding the situation in pre-training. And coming to training, training phase is the actual implementation phase. Okay, in the implementation phase, the participants, whoever is attending the trainings, the trainee, they are known as the trainee. The trainees will explore the training situations and they will think like whether the infrastructure and the training, the classes and all, whether it is interesting to them or not. These all kind of things will be happening in the training phase or in the implementation phase. Okay, so the third one is post training, is also known as the follow up phase or adjustment phase. So after training, what happens? You can't just give some training classes to them and just send them away, right? So there actually we have to follow up them. Like we have to check whether the learned skills they are applying in their actual job situation or not. Okay, that is a post training phase, also known as the follow up or adjustment phase. And then we are coming to the training models. We have mainly 3 training models, that is the simple model of training and elaborated model of training, and one more, that is a spiral model of training. So simple model of training, as you can see here, the components include the participant, the organization, the training, improved participant behavior and greater organizational effectiveness. So here we can understand simply what happens. The participant and the organization, right? The participant will be an employee in the organization. So when the participant undergoes training, which means it is directly improving the participant behavior, also indirectly improving greater organizational effectiveness, right? So if I work better, definitely the platform which I am working, the company which I am working, they are also getting improved. That is the simple model of training. When it comes to elaborated model of training, and there is feedback also involved, and there is certain consideration is given to the training institution as well. Okay, many chats are coming. Yeah. It's okay, like whoever is like out of the social science system, it's understandable that when so many schemes are coming, it will feel like a little bit of hectic for you, but don't worry about that. Once you get to know the proper like structure and what is actually happening, then it won't be much like difficult for you, but definitely it is a memory based thing. Okay, you have to learn the things. It's like not a conceptual thing that to clear and all. So it's mostly a memory based thing. So you have to read it again and again and you have to memorize. There is no other way in that. Okay, don't worry about that. And the third model is spiral model of training. Spiral model of training is given by Linden and Parikh. This can be a question. Who gave the spiral model of training? That is given by Linden and Parikh. They, in the model itself, it is classified into 3 phases. The 3 phases is given here: pre-training, training and post-training. Okay. And coming to the training modality. Why I gave training modality near to training models? Because there is no relation between these two. Okay, whenever we listen about the term training modality, we think it is something related to the models, but it's not. It is actually related to the training methods. Okay, so training modality is a broader concept of training methods. That's what I want you to clear. Okay, so still lagging. Okay. Okay, 1 second, let me clear it for you. If the screen is still lagging, let me once inform. Okay. Someone is there? Shashank. Someone is saying screen is lagging a little bit. Any? Okay, they will take care of it. Okay. So we will continue. Shall I continue? Yeah. Okay. So we will continue. So we were talking about the training modality. So as I was saying, training modality is not related to training models. It's a broader concept of training methods. Okay. So just you need to remember the names of the training modalities. Okay. There are 4 types. One is the direct and distant. So here what, this is actually easy concept only, but what you will get mistaken is like when you learn, like when you think about direct, like automatically and dispersed training. Centralized training means certain central institute will initiate, guide and support the other subsidiary unit to carry out training plan. So there will be a hub, like central unit will be there. They will be controlling all its subsidiary unit to carry out training. Whereas dispersed training means certain autonomous institutions, like any small training institution will conduct their own plans, they will make their own plans and they will implement their own programs. That is a dispersed, centralized and dispersed. And then we have the content and process training. Content training focus on the knowledge about any particular task. So, like there is a common example, that is the composition of national income. What is in what? That will be considered in the content training, whereas in process training, as the name indicate, how to conduct that. That process will be involved. The skill about particular task, how to calculate the national income, that will be considered. The content process modality. Okay. So there are 4 types of modality: direct, distant, formal, non-formal, centralized, dispersed, and content and process. Okay. And now we will see certain types of training. This can be asked in your examination because this is one of the portions that is important in training. So according to stages of career, like in what stage of career you are in, there are many types of training. One is pre-service training. Pre-service training is something that will be given to before your service, like whatever you are earning now. Now you are earning certain degree in the college, right? So that is actually, we can say, as a pre-service training, like when you get the certificates, degrees, awards and all, that all will constitute the pre-service training before the service. You can easily remember. And then we have the orientation training. Orientation training is given when an employee just get into a job. Okay, so in that period, like in the orientation training, we will be getting to know, we will be getting to know that about the mandates and like how the institution works, what is the structure of the institution. All these will be familiarized by the employee in the orientation training. And then we have the important one, that is the induction training. This is important. Okay, always they'll ask induction training given to the new extension personnel as after they have been employed and before they are assigned to work. Okay, in a particular area. For example, there is a classical example, NAM training to given to new ARS scientist. So it is like you got the job, you get to know about the institution and all, but you have not posted in some place. So in between, what the training will be given, that is known as the induction training. NAM training given to ARS scientist, that is the example. Okay, and then we have in-service training. In-service training means all the forms of training that is given when you are in the service, you are posted in somewhere, and whatever this like training you will get on your like career, that all include in-service training. Okay, so what is on the job training? On the job training is the instruction received by extension personnel. See, actually even though they are common type of training also, here we will be discussing, like in the textbook it will be discussed in the form of the types of training given to the extension personnel. Okay, that's why personnel means staff. Okay, it's extension personnel. So that will be in the definition also, it will be included because of that. So it is the instruction received by extension personnel in more or less informal manner from experienced personnel or superiors in job related activities. Okay, so it can, like when you are working, there will be in your college also, when you are doing some assignment also, there will be certain seniors will be there, right, to help you, like how to write this, how to approach to that teacher and all. So similarly, when you are in job, there will be kind of informal training will be given by either by the experienced staff or the superior staff in the job related activities only. That is the on the job training. Okay, and then we have refresher training. Refresher training, it's like as the name indicate, to refresh their knowledge, to get them updated about in their knowledge. Any like, see, for example, you are working in an IT company, so you should be like known about the certain AI updates and all. So similarly, to refresh your knowledge and skills for improving them, that is known as the refresher trainees. They are given like in same because they almost sound similar in service, on the job, refresher and all, but certain small differences are there in the definitions and all, that you may get confused in the exam. Okay, and then we have retraining. Again, see, there is a refresher training and there is retraining. Refresher training is to refresh the knowledge and skills, whereas retraining is to prepare an individual for a new assignment or new duties. In refresher training, there is nothing new duties or new challenges are not coming, but in retraining, it will be preparing an individual for new assignments or new duties. Okay. And then we have overseas training or training abroad. As the name indicate, the professions or the experts will be coming over the sea, which means from the outside the geographical location. And then we have the vestibule training or near the job training. That is also a term that you may get confused. The vestibule training, what do you mean by vestibule training? So here the employees will be given training in a special training environment within the organization that is like almost similar to the real work site. Okay, so this is not a real actual site, but it is similar but within the organization itself, so that the employee will get a real time experience, like simulated experience of what is actually happening there. That is the vestibule training, or known as the near the job training. Okay, and we have certain approaches to training. Approaches to training, there are only the key things you have to remember. One, we have the discrete phase approach or the traditional approach. Discrete phase approach, or also known as the traditional approach. Here you have to remember the the other words. Okay, sometimes they will ask only traditional approach and they will ask the characteristics, so should not confuse. So here the different phases are here of training. So they all are interconnected. Okay, so they are connected sequentially, one after another. They all are connected, but each phase stand independently, not interdependently. Independently, each phase stands and they are connected sequentially. So that is the discrete phase approach. Discrete means like different, right? So each phase is different from one another. But whereas in the process approach, which is given by R.D. Miller. R.D. Miller has given the process approach. What he told? He told there are the phases are there, but they are all are sub process of the training process, which are highly interrelated. They are not standing alone. They are highly interrelated and interdependent on all others. Okay. And then the next approach, that is the system approach given by York. So what he told? So he told in the training, all the phases are a series of interdependent system. System means a unit, like the assembly of a units, right? So a series of interdependent systems, they are functionally linked and incorporated into the total system. Okay, to achieve the corporate effectiveness. See, the definitions and all will be related to the organizational effectiveness, because training in general, in the general concept, if you are seeing, training is given to the employees. Okay, so when an employee undergoes training, the performance of employees will be increased, like enhanced. So as a result, the corporate or the organizational effectiveness also increased. Okay, so that is the basic thing. So everything, whether we are seeing the models, methods, or approaches, anything, the basic concept in the definitions and all, the organizational or the corporate effectiveness, that terms will be coming. Okay, so when you read, actually it can be a little bit confusing sometimes. So in system approach, it is nothing but there York has told that the systems, the phases are a series of interdependent systems which is attached to the big system, that is the training process. Okay, and it is derived from the engineering process. This is also important concept. And then the last one, we have system approach to training. I might be a little bit rushing, but I hope that you already read it once, because if you are reading it for the first time, listening it for the first time, it might be a little bit difficult for you to grasp, I understand. But since the exam is almost near, I think you already read it once or twice already. Okay, so the last one is system approach to training. System approach to training, it is like an extension of this one. It says that it is not only related and functionally linked, but also it is very closely related in a way that if any of one system is not working or has any problem, and it will harmfully affect the other whole systems. That is the system approach to training. So it is also known as the diagnostic approach, because it is this approach, the system approach to training, SAT, has used to diagnose problem at several levels of aggregation, like at the different times, like the individual level, the system level, the organizational level and all. It is used to diagnose the problems. Okay, so it is also known as the diagnostic approach. And we have the training cycle, like the proper how to develop a training system. That is actually whatever we are studying, the many things are there, the methods, the curriculum, like the goals, objectives of training, everything, needs and all, everything will be considered under the development of training system, we commonly call as the training cycle. Okay, there are mainly 5 phases in training cycle, starting from the TNA. TNA means training need assessment. Training need assessment means before giving any training, we need to assess their need, what the employees need. Based upon that, we have to develop a training plan. Okay, so need is like the like discrepancy, or it's the gap between the actual performance of the employee and the desired performance of the employee. Need is the difference between the actual performance or the current performance of the employee and the desired performance of the employee. Okay, so in training need assessment, see, we told that this is like a system approach to training, right? So each of these phases, this is all considered as a subsystem. Okay, and under each system there will be another system. So what are the things that we have to consider while assessing the need? In that, under TNA, in the first phase, that is training need assessment, this is also considered as 4 subsystems. Okay, under training need assessment, there are 4 subsystems. I think in instant extension education, only first 2 are given, I think so. But actually, there are 4 subsystems are there. Okay, which means what are the things that we have to consider while assessing the needs? Okay, one is the national production priorities, and then the farmers felt need for training, and the operational agencies of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare and State Department of Agriculture, and the different levels of aggregation. Levels of aggregation means like the individual level, the system level, the organizational level, at the national level, regional level, sector, like state level and all. Different levels of aggregations are there. See, for example, in your college, they are giving a training to the farmers based upon for the importance of organic farming, say for example, just we are saying. Okay, so first of all, we have to see like whether it is aligning with the felt need of farmers, whether the farmers are interested in that or not. And then the national production priority, the government itself is pushing about the natural farming, like organic farming, right? And then the operational agencies are available or not to, from the KVK and all, whether the faculties and all will be available and all. And at different levels of aggregation, at what all level the training can be given. Okay, at the like at the university level they can be given, or at the national level training for trainers can be given. So these are the subsystems that are coming under training need assessment. Okay, and oh, I think you can't see this. This is nothing but like the generally in for extension personnel, there are 3 types of needs that we will be considering. One is the training need, and another one is personal need, and another one is developmental need. Okay, training need, personal needs and developmental. Developmental is like, say, for the future needs of the extension professional, like see, so there are certain upgrades in skills, there are certain upgrades in their like the total mental health, and all these will be considered in the development for the growth of that person. Okay, and there are training need assessment. How we will assess the training needs? There are 2 types of training need assessment methods. One is the rational method and another one is the empirical method. Rational method means without collecting proper facts or evidence from the people, which means through observation or through informal talks and all. Like when I am talking to you, maybe, yeah, when I am talking to you, like maybe I am not collecting exactly how many people are satisfied, exactly how many people are not satisfied or not. Maybe, but if I am seeing you as a group, I may understand how much, like what will be your like reaction to my class and all, right? But actually, if I am giving a feedback forum with the proper marks and how much marks you will be giving for PPT, how much marks you will be giving for talk and all, then there will be certain marks like empirical evidence will be there, right? So without that, if I am assessing the training needs, that is known as the rational training need assessment methods. Okay. The methods include observation, informal talks, and complaints, comparison. The important thing you have to remember is analysis of reports, opinion poll, and bus sections. When you see analysis of reports, you may think that that is a empirical method. Empirical method means the methods which relies on the numbers or the actual empirical evidences. Okay, whereas analysis of reports, actually here it is considered as an like less formal one, where like a person is actually judging the different reports. Okay, and then we have opinion poll and bus sections. These all are rational methods, whereas empirical method is actual the ones where the proper like empirical evidence or data will be formed. It is like job analysis, performance evaluation. This is very important. Okay, performance evaluation and SWOT method, checklist or questionnaire, test, critical incident technique, card sort methods. These are different methods that will comes under empirical method. And then we have going to the second phase, that is the training plan development. Training plan development. Okay, so what is a training plan? Training plan is a manpower document developed on the basis of assessed training needs of extension personnel. So in the first phase, we assess the training, and in second phase, we will develop a training plan based on the needs assessed in the previous phase. Okay, so the plan, it will indicate the date, the duration, subject, and institution for training, where we should send him. See, if I want to learn about maybe some animation and all, I should go to that kind of institution, right? So all will be explained this training plan. So this TPD, training plan development, has 4 subsystems, which include, one is the territorial, like the national, state or district, like the territorial wise, and then the sectorial, in which sector it should be considered, the agriculture or horticulture, like that sectorial, and the project related plan. Project related, if the plan is related to project, some project, it may be interdisciplinary, like different things, if it is like PM Kisan, say for example, if we are considering PM Kisan, then we have to consider the Ministry of Agriculture and Welfare also, and some like digital, because it's a DBT, direct benefit transfer, we may need to check with the banks also. So different sectors it may go, right? So that is the project related will cut across the many sectors. And certain special plans also will be made, like if any calamity is coming, certain training plans, to assess the calamities, assess the damages and all, maybe some training can be given to the extension personnel, right? So special plans. So always a training plan follows a training policy. There will be a training policy which acts as a guideline to form the training plan. Okay, so how should be a training plan? A training plan should be comprehensive, and it should have the consistency with the existing national objectives also. Okay, and it should be result oriented. It the quantification, like what is proposed to be accomplished, that also should be quantifiable, and it will be integrating all the training requirements, like the needs and all will be integrated. So that is the essential features of training plan. And then the third phase is design of training program, DTP. So in the design, what are the things that will be included? One is the training objectives. The objectives should be SMART. I hope you all know what is SMART. SMART means specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Whenever you set certain objectives, it should be attainable, it should be realistic, and like whatever you can achieve within a time period, that all should be considered training objectives. Okay, and the skill mix, what the skills to be given, like if it is a lower level extension personnel worker, village level extension worker, say for example, then we will be mostly focusing on the technical skills, right? But if it is for a middle level or senior level extension personnel, we will be focusing on the managerial skills, or the like the conceptual skills will be given more importance. Okay, so skill mix and curriculum should be developed. Training methodologies should be selected. So methodologies should be always a combination of methods should be selected. Okay. Okay, again it's lagging. Maybe I think some network issues might be coming in between. Okay. And certain technologies. What are the technologies that we can use in the training program and supporting training material? These are the 6 subsystems. Okay. So in that, the only important thing that you have to remember, that is the curriculum development. So curriculum, the word is derived from a Latin word which means to keep running. To keep running. So curriculum includes all the things that will be implemented in the training process. Okay. So it is also known as the heart of the training program. Heart of the training program means, like in our body, the blood will be separated by the heart, right? So like whatever the content that we have to given, the plan will be depends upon the curriculum. So that is known as, it is the heart of the training program. Whereas the methods means, methods are the ways through which all the content will be reaching to the people, right? So that it is known as the arteries and veins of the training program. Okay. And when we are developing curriculum, in the curriculum development process, we have to follow a concentric circle approach. What we have to follow? A concentric circle approach. Concentric means one inside another. Okay, concentric circle approach. So it has 3 circles. Like the very inside is must know, what you must know. Okay, like there are things that anyway must be included in the curriculum. Again, curriculum. And then outer that, there are certain things that is known as the contents that should be included. Okay, so if I am like teaching about the training, if I have only 5 minutes, what will I do? I'll be taking about the training phases only. Okay, so that is like the must know things. And then there are things that is a should know, like what are the approaches, that are the stages in the training cycles and all. That is the should know part. And then there is the could know parts, like what are the subsystems included, what will be the methods included. So all will be the should know. Like could know, that also, that's like a broader concept. Okay, so this is the thing that we should include in the curriculum development. After must know, then you can go to the should know, and then you can go to the could know, like circle. Okay, and finally, like the 4th one, we have the training program implementation phase, where you are actually implementing the, they are working on it. Okay, they are actually working on it. It will be getting rectified. Okay. Training program implementation. This is the actual training implementation phase. Okay, so it has 2 subsystems. So when you are implementing a certain program, 2 things are there. One is the training infrastructure, whether the infrastructure to implement that particular training program, where the classroom or the screen or the materials and all are available or not. And then the actual training program with the whole plan, with the whole people and all, everything, that whole training program for actual implementation happens. Okay, so this is the 4th phase. And finally, we have the training, monitoring and evaluation. Just we have done the training program, we have actually implemented it, and after that what? Right? There are 2 processes, that is, one is monitoring and second is evaluation. Okay, in monitoring means the systematic, regular collection and occasional analysis of information. Why? To identify and possibly measure the changes over a period of time. It is nothing but the program is going on actually. So in that, what is the current needs? Like maybe when going on the program, there is a lack of the materials to supply for everyone else. So those things will be properly monitored. Okay, so it's a systematic, regular collection and occasional analysis of information over a period of time. There are 3 domains of monitoring, that is also important. The domain of top management. So when the what are the things that will be considered like concerning to the top management, who is doing the supervising the training. Okay, top management. So for them, the attendance and the cost of the training and results will be important. Attendance, cost of the training and result. These will be the, see, if you are in an organization who is organizing the training and all, then their concern will be about the attendance, cost of training and results. But when you, from the point of view of a trainer, in the domain of trainer, when you are thinking what the monitoring should be showing, he will be interested in the arrangement of the thing, then cost to the institution and the results. Okay, but considering the trainee, he is only concerned with the training evaluation, like whether the actual implementation of the training, or the actual results of the training, whether it met with the objectives of the training. So evaluation is always whether we are checking whether the actual performance have met with the already set objectives or not. Okay, so in the domain of trainee, he is only concerned with the training evaluation, whereas the top management and trainer will be interested in different things, including the evaluation and certain monitoring aspects also. So coming to the evaluation, evaluation is also from a Latin word called valere. Valere, it is like evolved from the word valere, means to be strong or like valiant. Okay, so it is to meet the different types of training objectives. Always remember, evaluation is always to check whether the performance, the actual performance or the actual results met with the objectives or not. The predetermined goal is met or not. Okay, so there are many types of evaluation is there, mainly formative evaluation and summative evaluation. Formative evaluation actually conducted before the training program to assess whether the preparations and all, whether it is done or not. Okay, and the summative evaluation which is conducted after the finishing of the program. And then certain self-evaluation is there by each trainee and the trainer, and the internal evaluation will be there. Internal means the within the organization. Okay, and external evaluation is there when the evaluators will be outside the organization, and ex post evaluation because something has already happened and after certain time period, what is the impact of that, all will be assessed in the ex post evaluation. Okay, and many evaluation models are there, but you have to definitely remember the Kirkpatrick's evaluation model. That is nothing but there are 4 levels are there. Okay, Kirkpatrick evaluation model, 4 levels are there. The first one is, level 1 is the reaction. Reaction is, see, you have just attended a program. Okay, so how you felt about the training? In first line, like somebody is asking, just you are coming out of a class, somebody is asked, how was the class? You will say, it was okay. So that is like how they felt about the training. That is the reaction. And then there is learning. Another level is learning. Learning means measurement of the increase in knowledge. How much you are learned. So you will assess, there will be a pre-knowledge test will be there, a post-knowledge test will be there. You will be assessing how much increase has happened in the knowledge, learning. And then the behavior. Behavior means the extent of applied learning back on the job. Like I have learned something, I have learned about AI. Okay, how I will be effectively using that in my learning. So that is like showing the behavior, the third level. And finally, we have the result. Result means how much it's affecting on the organization. Okay, if as an employee, if my work is improved, if up to the behavior stage it is done, whether the improvement in my behavior is benefiting the organization or not, that can be checked in this fourth level, that is the result stage. Okay. And methods of training, there are so many methods are there. I think this is also certain things that you have to study by reading it again and again, because even though it is simple only, but there is a chance that it can be get confused a little bit. Okay, so something I'll say, like something that you might be familiar, that can be said a little bit faster. Okay, so informal discussion, it can be like for in a group without a proper formal documentation and all. If we are conducting a discussion, that is known as the informal discussion. And then there will be lecture. Lecture means a formal verbal presentation of an organized information. One person will be presenting formal verbal presentation. Okay, the contents will be well organized, but the only problem is passive role of audiences. In lecture, the passive role of audience is the drawback. And 160 words per minute is the standard time. 160 words per minute, standard pace of delivery, how much you can talk. I think I am taking a little bit more, but there is no other way. And then we have group discussions. Group discussion means like in a group, the moderator will be there. Certain regarding certain topics, group of people will be discussing. Okay, so these all are methods of training. Okay, this is not something. See, when you go to tea and sitting there and talking, that is not a informal discussion. Okay, so to get a specific purpose in like as a method of training, this all will be, you should have to think all this in that way only. Okay, and then we have the panel discussion. Panel discussion is, see, actually the panel, colloquium, syndicate, they all are types of group discussion only. Okay, not only this, the seminars and all we can consider as type of group discussion only. So informal discussion is one, lecture is different, but all other, like most of the other methods of training, that will fall under the group discussion. Okay, and panel. So panel, it's a moderate discussion of a single subject by experts, usually representing the different field of discipline. So they will be coming together in TV and all, television and all. You will be seeing certain people will be sitting from like different fields or discipline, talking about something like farm laws. They will be talking. So that is like a panel discussion. Okay. So the audience will be benefited by observing the interaction among panelists and questioning panelists. They can question also. Colloquium is a modified version of panel discussion. It will be like a more formal discussion will be happening among the people. Okay, so colloquium is a modified version of panel discussion. And then there is syndicate method. Syndicate method, it's a it is a subgroup of 6 to 8 participants. So there will be a chairman and secretary, and a certain problem will be assigned to them. There is a subgroup of 6 to 8 participants. So okay, so after that, everyone will be working on the assigned problems. At the end, they will be preparing a report with the like recommendations for actions. Like whatever the problems are given, they will be analyze it, and they will be like preparing certain like recommendations or solutions for them. That is known as the syndicate method. There will be chairman and secretary. Okay, and then we have the T group. The thing is, T group has so many names. T group method, diagnostic training group method, sensitivity training group method, conceptual discussion system, laboratory training, and encounter group. See, all these names are related to the T group methods only. Okay, you have to remember each and every names. Okay, so it's like a method of changing behavior through instructed group interactions. So it's like the sensitivity training, I think this is the term that is mostly used. So it's to understand one's own behavior and their sensitivity to others and the improvement in behavioral skills. See, when you are joining in an organization or like in any company and all, first you will be, it is like a training that is given to understand how is my behavior, my own behavior, and it is sensitivity to others, whether how it is affecting the others and how it can be modified. All these things will be considered in the, like basically it is a sensitivity analysis, like sensitivity training, where one person will be analyzing his own behavior and his behavior which is sensitive to others. Okay, and modifying that. These will be considered in the T group analysis. And then we have the seminar. Seminar means it is a like very formal discussion will be there. A discussion paper based upon any studies. In your college also some seminars will be happening, right? So based on study and research, they will be presented by different participants and analyzed by experts. Okay, and we have workshop. See, workshop, in the name itself, work is included, which means like you can remember, workshop means there is like certain practical aspects also included. Okay, so it's a gathering for providing practical experience. It is a mix of theory and practice. So which method is a mix of theory and practice equally? That is the workshop method. Okay, and there is certain mission is there, like ICAR has a mission, IRA has a mission. So mission means mission. So that is actually which is coming in the planning, like training program planning section. Okay, so mission is like technology mission on oil seeds. Here the mission is different. Okay, this mission refers to a group. It's a powerful group of front rank experts charged with attainment of specific objectives. Say for example, technology mission on oil seeds. Technology mission on oil seeds, it is like that certain people will be there who are completely dedicated to attainment of any particular thrust area, specifically by the government or at the national level. That is the mission group. Okay, and then we have the clinic. Clinic is like a meeting of group of people with common interest. Okay, so here whenever you listen the term clinic, it can be agriculture clinic, whatever it is, think that there is always a purpose of diagnosis will be there. Diagnosis means you are understanding certain things. Diagnosis, analyzing and seeking solutions to specific problems. Okay, so this in the clinic method, there will be a group who will be discussing so that they will diagnose the problems, analyze it and find the solution for that. And some of the important methods that you have to study anyhow, that is the one is the brainstorming session, which is originated in USA. Brainstorming means like the group of participants will be sitting there and they will generate as much idea, like brainstorming, so many ideas will be coming out. Okay, so that is like without any hesitation, when you are saying something, like there is a chance that many new and creative ideas can come up. That is like the basic idea behind that. Okay, so brainstorming has two sessions. One is the green session and the red session. In the green session, what happens? Without any restrictions, anyone can say anything. Okay, like we are saying how to improve the class. So if there are like 10 people are there, everyone is telling that you can do this, you can do that, you can make some robot and all. Like nothing is scrutinized there. That is the green sessions. Whereas in red sessions, red always means like some stopping point, right? So in red sessions, we will be carefully checking what all ideas can be like actually that can be practical or that can be considered as possible. So that is the red session. Okay, green session, red session. And then we have the bus session or the huddle system or Phillips 66. These three names are same only. Bus session or huddle system or Phillips 66. Okay, so this is like a the whole group will be divided into small groups, and they will be given like certain topics to discuss within 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so certainly it's like a very fast thing. So people will be starting like talking too much, right? So that is creating a sound. The bus will be created. So it's mimicking the sound of the honeybee. You must be knowing. So that is the thing. I think this asked in one question. I don't know whether it is JRF or SRF, but 1 year it has been asked. Like which methods is related to the sound of the honeybee? So the answer is the huddle system or the bus section. Okay. So for after the 4-5 minutes of discussion, every small group will come with a solution and they will report it to the larger group. Okay. And then we have the case study. Case study means there is one case will be there. Case means a problem situation is presented to the participants in the program for careful study and examination from all the aspects. Okay, like I am studying about the success of FPOs in Maharashtra. So I will be assessing all the possible ways of how to whether it is how we can say whether it is success or not, like what are the factors that influence how like what is the impact and all. So all the facets will be analyzed there. Two types are there of case study. One is case illustration and another is case problem. See, the thing is most of the places I try to keep the same sentences as in the textbook itself, because rather than this what I was telling, I was reading the message in between, sorry. PYQ, yeah, definitely after this marathon, PYQ sessions will be there. Ajay and Ritisha, most probably they will be conducting the PYQ for whole social sciences. Okay, don't get worried about that. Okay, so I think we were talking about the two types of case study. One is case illustration and case problem. Okay, case illustration is like the participants evaluate the correctness of the decision. Like it is like an illustration, means much analysis or like the problem identification and all are not happening. Illustration means they are analyzing whether the already happened thing or the already the decisions that is taken in any program, that is correct or not, the evaluating. Whereas in case problem is a type of case study. Okay, case study has two types. One is case illustration and case problem. So in case problems, the participants will be analyzing the given information and they will be making certain decisions based upon that, and then they have to justify about it. Okay, so it's like an overall problem. They will be given certain issues or the problems and they will be analyzing it. They will be given certain making certain decisions regarding that, and then they have to justify about the decisions. That is the case problem. And then small things are there. The handout, you know, it's like a printed paper, printed or typed sheet of paper for quick communication, mostly used before the lecture. Okay, and we have simulation methods or controlled experience method. What do you mean by simulation? Simulation means it is not the real one, but it is almost like a real one. Okay, so it's like the consequences of success or failure will be there, but anyway the experiences will not be there, but the experience will be there. Like if I am simulating using a particular pesticide in a field, okay, like digitally, like virtual reality and all, it is there, so I can apply. So what happens if I am using the wrong one? The field will be like burned out. So I feel like, oh, I failed. Like that feeling will be there, but however it is does not actually having any consequences on my crop, right? So that is the simulation method or controlled experience method. And then there is role playing. Role playing means I am acting as you. Okay, so here what happens, everybody is acting as another one, so it will give insight to the behavioral pattern of an individual. And it is like it uses self-generated data. Self-generated data means you will be observing the other person, and like my behavior is my like it is completely depends on me only, right? So all the my patterns, my actions, my talk, everything will be based upon the thing that is generated by me only. So based upon that, another person will be imitating me. The role of mine will be taken by another person. So that's why it's a it uses self-generated data. Okay. And we have the programmed learning or programmed instruction. Programmed learning or programmed instruction, I'll say. See, suppose you are using an app, okay, mobile app will be there. So in that you have to you are playing a game, suppose you can take like that. So in that what happens, there will be certain instructions will be there, so that after you click like open downloading the app, then they said then you have to register, then you can register, and then you can go to that, you can select the first player, you can select the second player. So certain guidelines or steps will be there one after another, which you, whether if you are using, you can learn by yourself. That is the programmed learning. Certain programs are there, based upon that programs you can learn by yourself. Okay, programmed instructions. So the trainee teaches himself. The thing is, the trainee or the user who are using that, they can teach themselves, they can learn themselves. Okay. And finally, I think this is the last one. This is the micro lab. Micro lab is a method. This is originated in the Bethel Mine in USA, National Training Laboratories, Bethel Mine in USA. So it is like the whenever you are joining somewhere new, okay, so there will be a mental block will be there, right, to like intimately like behave with the people and the surroundings and all. So to reduce that, it is like a package of practices. It's not like a single exercise, it's like a group of or the package of exercises organized at the beginning of the program to psychologically stimulate the trainees. Okay, to like an ice breaking only, whether to remove the mental block and all. It's like a package of exercises. That is the micro lab. Okay, it will be conducted in informal setting. You cannot sit in a formal setting and do ice breaking sessions in informal setting. The timing is 30 minutes to 2 hours. Okay. And these are the different methods of training. I'm not explaining everything. We can classify into 3: telling method, showing method, and doing method. Telling method, which includes like the lecture, the seminar and all, which includes the vocal or like the vocal representation and all. And then showing method, which is like visual aspects will be there, written words, picture, movies or films and all. And then doing methods, where you are actually doing the role playing, skit, games when you are playing. These are the different methods that comes under the doing session. Okay. And only thing you have to remember is skit and role play. Skit and role play, when you are watching, that is the showing method, right? If you are not involving in that, that is a showing method. But when you are actually doing it, that is a doing method. Yeah, just we will quickly go through the experiential learning cycle also. Experiential learning cycle is the one. It's like the step-by-step process through how an adult learn new skill and gain knowledge. Okay, actually the experiential learning cycle is given by the James McCaffrey. 2 types of learning cycles are there. One is the experiential learning cycle given by McCaffrey, which has 4 phases. The experiences phase, where you are actually doing something, and process, generalization and application. 4 phases are there. Okay, experience, process, generalization and application. Like you are a group of friends, okay, you are going there and you are for the first time you are seeing the PPT for easy understanding the PPT. So you are actually doing, everybody is doing something. Then what happens, you are processing it. You are actively remembering. When you come back in the group, you are actually thinking, okay, I did that. When I clicked in that, I can add the text, I can add the images. Okay, certain you are recalling and you are sharing it with your other friends. So they are also telling, they also told that, okay, when I added some video also can be added. So you will be comparing your experience, your whatever you are feeling, that will be sharing, comparing, processing and reflecting. That is the important step. And then there is generalization. Based upon that, you are getting into certain generalizations. Do you understand? Okay, many things can be done in this. Many multimedia can be at a time applied in that. And finally, application. You are applying it in some like actual phase where you have to take a class or you want to learn something. So then you are use the PPT as a method. Okay, so this is like the step by step process in which an adult learn new skill and gain knowledge, given by McCaffrey. So these are the phases given by McCaffrey. Okay, but there is also this is also an experiential learning cycle given by Kolb. Okay, Kolb's experiential learning cycle. This is the most like commonly used experiential learning cycle methods that in JRF and all. Okay, so in this method you can see there are 4 stages are there. One, we can start with the active experimentation or doing the actual thing, and concrete experience or like feeling when you get to know about certain, see, when you are seeing the class, the concrete experience you are getting. So what are the feelings that you are getting from that? Okay, you can start from here. Okay, concrete experience means you are actually experiencing certain thing. Concrete experience means certain things are there, not in an abstract or vague form. Actual something is happening and you are experiencing that. Okay, the feeling is there. And then you are having the second one, that is the reflective observation. You are watching and reflecting whatever you are understanding, you are reflecting it, you are talking it, you are thinking about it, the reflective observation. Okay, the terms, see, whatever, how many times you study, the remembering the terms of this learning cycle is difficult only. That is one thing that I also accept. Still now also, if I don't study for the examination, I'll forget it. Okay, so this terminology is a little bit different, but you have to remember. So this stages is some important. You can remember it by keeping some codes and all. Okay, but you have to remember it. So first one is concrete experience. Sorry, not this one. Concrete experience, and then we are going to the reflective observation. Okay, you are reflecting whatever you have experienced. You are reflecting it, means you are comparing it, you are sharing it with others and all, and then it reaches the stage of abstract conceptualization or thinking stage. Abstract conceptualization. Abstract concept means something that is not in a concrete form. Say for example, I am thinking of a concept as intelligence. Like for example, intelligence. I am saying he is very intelligent in nature. Is that something that I can actually can see or something? No, I am thinking because of his behavior. I am thinking that he is intelligent. Okay, so that is like an abstract like judgment that I am doing. Okay, so abstract conceptualization means based upon his feeling and reflecting nature and all, he's thinking about certain things, like the generalization is happening there. So that is the stage, abstract conceptualization, known as the thinking phase. And finally, the active experimentation or the like actual doing is happening there. Based whatever he has learned or conceptualized, that is practically applied there. Active experimentation or doing stages there. Okay, I think that's it about the training. Training took a little bit of time. The thing is, many things, training is a little bit of hard thing because you may not have enough resources to read it like actually properly. So whenever we are rushing through it or like making the PPT and all, this is all actually a part of the subject only. You don't need to read too much also. But I hope whatever I have taken so far is clear for you. Now we will go to the extension schemes. So this is not only about the schemes. We will start from the extension system. Okay, extension system. What were the important schemes in pre-independence time and the post-independence time, like that. Okay. So regarding the extension system, generally we have 2 types of extension system in India. One is the field extension system and the front line extension system. Okay, field extension system and the front line extension system. So what do you mean by field extension system? Field extension system means the large scale agricultural technology dissemination to large number of farmers. That is actually happening in the field. Whatever the technologies are there, that will be disseminated to different people, the large number of farmers all over the country through development departments and agencies. Okay, Ministry of Agriculture, Department of Agriculture, Department of Rural Development and all. So whatever the technologies are developed, they are given to the large number of, to the field level, to the the doorstep level. That is the field extension system. Whereas in the front line extension system, what we will be doing, the adaptation and demonstration of technologies and capacity building of technologies all will be done. Like it's like the not only the dissemination part, but also how it can be adapted. Adaptation means how it can be made suitable to the agroclimatic situation of different place. The agroclimatic situation of Kerala will be different of Tamil Nadu. It will be entirely different of Punjab. It will be entirely different of northeastern states, right? So the adaptation and the demonstration of different technologies and how it can be developed, how the people can make it we can make them to adapt the technologies and all. So the research and development, all these things will be happening in the front line extension system. Okay, it is conducted by mainly the ICAR institution and SAUs. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll stand here. So the field extension system is carried out by the development department and agencies, whereas frontline extension system will be carried out by the ICAR institutions and agencies. See, ICAR, the mandates of ICAR is also research, education and extension. So ICAR is also conducting extension. So the ICAR and the state agriculture university, every state agriculture university have, they will try to get it in a more from a research point of view and all. So they will be demonstrating, they will be adapting to their own locality and how to transfer the technology. Okay, so that is the front line extension system. When we are talking about the organizational streams in India, in what way the extension system services are provided? There are 4 systems. One is the first line extension system, which includes the ICAR institutes and SAUs, and the extension system, which include of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare and the State Department of Agriculture. And third one is the extension system of Ministry of Rural Development and the State Development Departments. See, initially agriculture was considered as something that is only limited to the farmer and his farm. Later we evolved that it is not only about the farmer, but also his family is also involved. The farm family has also involved. Okay, and later it is understood that it is not only the family also, but also the social system, the socio-technical system, that which he is socio-cultural system which he is a part of, that is also affecting whether he is adopting the technology and all these will be considering. So definitely whenever we are talking about the extension system, the Ministry of Rural Development and their system is also important. And finally, the developmental work by the other than the public system, that is including the voluntary organizations, NGOs, para extension workers, all these will be included. Okay, so these are the 4 major organizational streams in India. Here we have to see the frontline extension system. So frontline extension system means they are see, this is the agricultural research system grew in ICAR and SAUs. See, initially what happens is there is not much extensive system to disseminate the technologies and all. So initially what happened, the ICAR and state agriculture universities, where actually the technologies were generated, they act as the first force to start this extension efforts. Okay, and then it they act as a catalytic force for the general extension. So that is a frontline extension system. There are mainly 4 types, 4 transfer of technology projects which has happened as a result. So the major transfer of technology projects of ICAR includes 4 numbers. One is the All India Coordinated Project on National Demonstrations, known as the AICPND, which is started in 1964. Okay, see, as I am telling, there are so many schemes are there starting from this time 1964 or before that, or before independence also we will see certain things. Okay, to until 2026. So it is not possible for you or anyone to study all the schemes every point one by one. but certain schemes are there. Since we are writing an exam on agricultural extension, there will be certain schemes that will be given importance. Okay, the basics should be strong. The four major TOT products of ICR and some of the like technologically like development projects of ICAR, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Rural Development. Some few projects are there which is like can be considered as a milestone in the evolution of the agricultural extension itself. Okay, so those things should be clear. The rest of the things, it depends on the person. Okay, the question like whoever is making the questions, they can or cannot be asked that. But these things are more sure, and you have it even in the textbooks also. So it's easier for you to study. Okay, this cannot be missed. Okay, so why we started the All India AICP ND project, national project coordinator project on national demonstration, because it started with the view of unless scientists could demonstrate what they advocated, their advice might not be needed by the farmers. If you cannot show that this is the result of my variety, then farmers may not be taking it. Okay, so it is the AICP ND is mainly to show the genetic production potential of new technologies, influence on the farmers and technologies, and it influenced the farmers and extension agencies. Sorry. Okay, so the main aim of AICPND is to show the genetic production potential of new technologies. The people actually, what happens, the variety, suppose a new variety has been released from ICR, and they will be demonstrating the result in a say in a 1 hectare of demonstration plot. Okay, in the farmers, it is actually conducted by the agricultural scientist. Okay, so the farmers can see what is the actual potential of that result or of that new technology. Okay, so it has a specific yield target and no control plot were used, because if it is 1 hectare, means whole 1 hectare is like the new variety only, so that when the result was coming, the farmers can actually see that in a it is considered as a living memory about the yield for the farmers. Okay, so all the farmers can actually see that and okay, this particular variety is producing so much, so it actually act as a living memory. So that is about AICPND. And then we have the ORP, Operational Research Project, which is started in 1974. So 1974 ORP. So ORP is about the disseminating the proven technology on a watershed basis. So here the important portion is watershed, on watershed basis. Okay, so it is covers the whole village or cluster of village, and studying the challenges or what are the barriers and all. So it's like demonstrating the impact of new technologies on a large scale. See, watershed basis means a large number of people will be there, right? As a cluster approach were followed there in the Operational Research Project, ORP 1974. And then we also have in the same year only, in 1974, we have KVK or Krishi Vigyan Kendra, or known as the Farm Science Center. It first started in Pondicherry. Okay. So, first KVK started in Pondicherry under Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, TNAU. And it was started to impart need-based and skill-based occasional training. So the main key point in KVK is the vocational training. So there are three basic concepts. One is learning through work experience. The training or the learning will be provided. Vocational training were given. So you will learn through actual experience, and to cater to the needs of those who are already employed or wish to self-employ. Like if somebody is a farmer or somebody is an entrepreneur, if they want certain specific help, that will be given. And there is no uniform syllabus. It is completely need-based and skill-oriented. Yeah. Regarding the test series, we have the social science aggregated test series is going on. If anyone want to attend, you can still attend, because there is still time left for you to practice. It will actually it will have more impact than you are actually reading the textbooks. Always do the mock test and practice by yourself. And if somebody is watching, if you want to attend for the 2027 or 2028 examination, then you can go with this we have like separate courses for that also. Okay. And okay, we are talking about the KVK, right? So there are certain fundamental principles of KVK. That is, one, agricultural production will be the prime goal. Whatever like training is given, also agricultural production increase was the prime goal, and work experience will be the main method, and priority will be given to the weaker sections, like the marginalized, small and marginal farmers, the women and all, will be the priority will be given to the weaker sections of the society. As of now, there are 731 KVKs exist in India. And the fourth one is Lab to Land program. Lab to Land program. So it is started in 1979 as a part of Golden Jubilee program of ICAR. Golden Jubilee program of ICAR. Okay. To improve the economic condition of the small and marginal farmers and landless agricultural laborers, particularly SC/ST like families, farm families, by transfer of improved technology. So that is a lab to land program. So the things we have to taken care. The farm plan development was like very specific thing that was to lab to land program. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. And then coming to the reorganized KVK. See, even though we had 4 main transfer of technology project by ICAR also, in 1992, all of these transfer of technologies were merged under KVK. In 1992, April 1st. Okay, all were integrated. So the major mandates were are like, after that the mandates also revised. That is the training program, frontline demonstration. Frontline demonstration means like the technology has developed and it will be like tested in certain plots under the close supervision of scientists. Whereas an on-farm testing and frontline demonstration, there are two things. That is like one of the some of the main mandate of KVK. On-farm testing is done. On-farm testing, which means it is done to check whether the technology is suiting to the agroclimatic situation of that particular region or not. Okay, some technology is developed in Kerala, whether it is suiting to Tamil Nadu, whether it is suiting to Karnataka, that is tested through on-farm testing. Okay, so there they what happens is, like, in on-farm testing, actually the technology assessment, I didn't written right. Technology assessment and refinement. Technology assessment and refinement happens in the on-farm testing phase. Okay, I think I forgot to add that point. Technology assessment and refine happens because when it goes into a new agroclimatic situation, to check whether the technology is suiting to that or not, after checking that, the technology will be modified. Technology assessment and refinement happens in the on-farm testing process. Okay, and then work as knowledge and resource management system. KVK will act as a knowledge and resource management system, and most importantly, remember that you should remember is TADA CD. TADA CD means technology assessment and demonstration for its application and capacity development. So this is the main mandate of KVK, TADA CD, that is the technology assessment and demonstration for its application and capacity development. Instead of not only for like transferring or demonstrating the technology, also the capacity development also included. Like, we are enabling the farmers to improve their capacity to adopt the technology, capacity development. Okay, and yeah, we told at present 731 KVKs are there. KVKs are managed by ICAR also, state agricultural universities also, and some certain NGOs. Okay, the credit for the success of KVK can be attributed to Dr. Chandrika Prasad. And in 1976, it's recommended the establishment of 1 KVK by district. By 1985, it is done. Okay, so yeah, KVKs are monitored and guided by, see, some of times what happens is that they can ask for an elaboration of the certain terms. Okay, something happened? No. Yeah, so Atari, the term is Atari. So certain glitch were there, I think. Atari means the Agricultural Technology Application Research Institute. Atari, Agricultural Technology Application Research Institutes. Okay, so there are certain Atari zones in the under ICAR. So they will monitor the KVKs that is coming under. Okay, so as of now, there are 11 Ataris are there in India. Okay, so suppose if you are taking an Atari in the Hyderabad, so they will be taking care of all the KVKs that is coming under the south region in the Karnataka and the Tamil Nadu and all, Kerala and all. Okay, so there are 11 Ataris. Remember the Atari full form also, and these will monitor and guide the KVKs. And we are coming to the pre-independence. See, there are so many points are there for each schemes under the pre-independence, but at least you should remember the year, the scheme, and most importantly, the place, more than the place, who involved. Okay, the name of the scheme and who involved there. This is the thing that you have to remember from the pre-independence thing. Okay, the post-independence, when you come, when you are coming to the recent scheme, you should think about the key aspects, like for what purpose the scheme has started. But regarding the pre-independence, you should remember the name and the name of the scheme and the name of the person who started, because they are the early efforts in extension. Before independence, this was individual efforts. One single person's thought and one single person put all the effort and he arranged certain programs. Okay. So, in 1903, there is a scheme of rural reconstruction. Scheme of rural reconstruction, which is started by Daniel Hamilton. Okay, scheme of rural reconstruction started by 1903 by Daniel Hamilton. And I will say only the important one. The complete list I will be giving in the table, but I'll say what some of the few things that is important to you. Okay, and in 1908, there is scheme of rural development happened by Rabindranath Tagore. And also in 1920, Gurgaon experiment were there, Gurgaon in Haryana. And F.L. Brain was the proponent of the scheme, Gurgaon experiment, which started in 1920. And the key, one of the key point that they can ask is the village guide. Village guides evolved in the Gurgaon project by F.L. Brain. Okay, village guide was the key component in, it is not the key component, but that is one of the key output that we can say. From that only, through village guides, he approached to the farmers. Okay, so the Gurgaon experiment. And in 1921, we had Sri Niketan project again by Rabindranath Tagore. So there you can see the term Brati Balika, certain educational related programs were also organized in that particular program. So just remember one or two keywords from each program, and most importantly, who proposed the program. If I started to explain very in detail about each and every program, that will be too much hectic as we go by. Okay, and in 1921 we have Marthandam project. So all these programs are important. Marthandam project by Dr. Spencer Hatch. It started in the Young Men Christian Association, YMCA, Young Men Christian Association in Travancore. And we have Sevagram project by Mahatma Gandhi. So one of Wardha district he started the Sevagram project. One of the key point is Nai Talim. Nai Talim is related to the new education. New education. Okay, so that is related with this Mahatma Gandhi's Sevagram project. So it's also associated with he developed an 18-point program to development of various things like the revival of cottage industries and all. He had many ideas in his the Sevagram project. And we started with this 1903 Daniel Hamilton's scheme of rural reconstruction. So scheme of rural reconstruction. Later, the same thing only. It started as an institutional format in 1934. The same thing only. And in 1945, there is IVS or Indian Village Service, which started in Lucknow by Mosher and Gupta. 46, we have Firka Development Scheme by Madras. I think this has asked because which of the following program is aiming to attain the Gandhian ideal of Swaraj. Gandhian ideal of Swaraj, aiming that the program has started by T. Prakashan. Okay, so it's initially started in 34 firka. So one firka means 5 to 10 villages. Okay, firka development program. And in 1947 we had Grow More Food campaign. Grow More Food committee was in 1952, whereas campaign was in 1947. Okay, so this is about the pre-independence scheme. See, these are the static things that is already in your textbooks. Much explanation is not needed. Factual things, though, there is a limit for me to explain also. I hope you will understand that. And you have, but the only thing you can do is you have to read it again and again, years and all. One thing I used to do, I remember, like, there were I think more than 100 years are there for us to study in economics and extension and combine together. So there is always a confusion happens in the years, how to remember, like which one to remember and all. Like when I was studying, I used to write the scheme's name on the outer side and the year in the inner side. So I just used to fold it, like small chips were there, no? Like that I used to fold and keep it when I was studying. So just, and when I randomly take one paper, it will show the name of the scheme or like any program or APEDA or something, whatever in social science we used to study, no? But then I will remember the year, and when I open it will be there. It's like no need to sit and study also. When you walk here and there also, you can do something like that. So I think you all will have your own methodology. Take something and use something, because when you just read and all, it will be difficult to memorize all the years, but still. Okay, so this is all about pre-independent schemes. So what we can understand from pre-independent schemes is like they all are individual attempts. Okay, so it's there will be one leader will be there. Based upon the leader, all the program has started. So it's focused mainly on the village or community issues, but the problem was it is situation specific. If it is started in West Bengal, means it is largely adapted to that West Bengal situation only, and it is not replicable to other parts. There is so much difference in the crops and the people, culture and all. So it was not replicable. Okay. And then we are coming to the post-independence schemes. In the post-independence also, initially one or two, few of the programs were individual only, but in a large scale. Okay. So in 1948, we have the Etawah pilot project. Etawah pilot project is one of the very important project which started in Maheva district in Etawah in UP. Okay, Maheva village in Etawah in UP. So the Albert Mayer is the person who started the Etawah pilot project. So many things are there. It is also known as the it has village level workers were involved there, and US assistance were given from the US point for programs. Initially it started in 64 villages. Okay, so it's known as the average district program. Average district program because it has selected certain districts were selected, and then it has been given certain importance, and the efforts and all were given to that particular district, and then it is considered. Okay, so multi-purpose village level workers were there, and it is known as the forerunner of community development program. Why? Because the success of Etawah pilot project was such a success, so that the government actually thought we can, at the public level or at the national level, we can actually implement a program for rural development. So that's how the community development program originated. So Etawah pilot project is known as the forerunner of community development project. Okay, and then we have 1948 Nilokheri experiment. Nilokheri experiment is like to rehabilitate the 7,000 refugees of from Pakistan during that partition time. Okay, so it happened in the 100 acres of land between Kurukshetra and Karna. In that place it's happened. So also known as the Mazdoor Mansil. Mazdoor Mansil means neither, I forgot the actual exact word. I think Mazdoor Mansil means who didn't work, who doesn't work, neither he can eat. If you don't work, you can't eat. So that is like the basic thing that happened there. So actually they organized certain demonstrations and all on certain skills development and all. Everything happened in that Nilokheri experiment, which is organized by SK Day. Okay, so when you are studying about the post-independence, these two schemes are very, very important. Etawah pilot project and Nilokheri experiment. Okay, and some schemes, you can just remember the names also. Bhudan movement by Vinod Bhave started in Pochampalli of Telangana. Okay, then Telangana, now it is merged into Andhra Pradesh together. It was then Andhra Pradesh, and now it is bifurcated, and now currently it is in Telangana. Okay, and community development programs. Coming to the key development programs. Okay, community development programs. First in 1952, after Itawa pilot project success and GMF inquiry committee report, both of this caused starting of the community development program. 1952 we known as the CDP program. So it's known as the people's program because it was aiming for community development. Okay, so community development is like not the individual person, but as together as a community, what they can be like do together programs, like something programs and like trade what to say, different agricultural and occupational opportunities. Sorry, I was not getting the word. Certain occupational opportunities that is given and implemented in a community basis. So the community development term is like originated in Cambridge in England in 1948. So it is actually derived from the concept of mass education. So we can say it is like very closely related with the agricultural extension project, right? So that's why that's why we are actually learning all these schemes. So fundamental objective in India, the CDP has a fundamental objective in India that the development of people or destination man. The key terms you have to remember whenever they will be asking one term, Nai Talib or destination man, which program it is related. When you are studying about 20 to 30 schemes, it is really like very difficult to remember from each one you study. Okay. So the CDP was financially assisted by the Ford Foundation. So what they did was, there were 55 community development projects. So this community development program, there were 55 community development projects. So under each project, there were each CDP means community development project, there were 400 to 500 square mile area, which means around 300 village with nearly 2 lakhs population. Okay, so the area, and then each project is divided into 3 developmental blocks. Okay, this 300 is divided by 3, which means 100 villages, around 60 to 70,000 population, and it is headed by the project officer. And for each this project, there will be nearly 60 multi-purpose village level workers were also given. Okay, and initially it launched for 3 years, and the entire nation was covered under CDP in 1958. So this is very important. CDP is very important because this is the program through which the agricultural extension in India has formally established. Okay, and then we told that in CDP program itself, we were focusing on community development projects. Under each projects were there, and later more focus was given to this project approach. Okay, so project, and under each project there were 3 blocks, that was we were saying. So that more focus was focused on this blocks. So what happens in National Extension Service, NES, in 1953, the wider coverage was achieved at less cost and more people's participation. So when you are actually detailedly studying, you will understand community development program, even though it was a success also, it had many drawbacks because it was in all over the country. The funding was not regular, so there were many financial issues were there. Village level workers deficiency were there, their performance and all, it is more of paperwork were included and all, so many issues were there. So it's like an attempt to modify that. Okay, so there is NES block, National Extension Service blocks were there. So each block is having 100 village, 65,000 population, and it is headed by the block development officer. So we can say NES is an agency and community development as a method to bring the socio-economic transformation. And in 1954, finally, there is community development block program, community development block program. So here what they did, they converted selected NES blocks. Okay, so it is also headed by block development officer and assisted by extension officers from different disciplines. And then we have the Panchayati Raj. Somebody was saying Panchayati Raj is very difficult. It's okay, nothing to worry about in Panchayati Raj. So Panchayati Raj initially started as a system. It actually started. It's a part of decentralization. Decentralization means transferring the authority to the local governments, which means at the different levels. These and from the central point, or at the top level, at the national level, the power and the administration is given to the authority is given to the local governments. That is happening in the Panchayati Raj. Okay. Initially, it started at the Nagaur district of Rajasthan, and there are two types are there: 3-tier Panchayati Raj and 2-tier Panchayati Raj is there. 3-tier Panchayati Raj is recommended by the Palwandrai Mehta committee, and 2-tier Panchayati Raj is recommended by the Ashok Mehta committee for state with a less than 20 lakhs population. Okay, so it's like when the people or number of people has increased, like the crowd population density increased, it is very difficult to control everything from at a one point of time. So that the local governments or the panchayat level, if we are having a governing body or the governance body, then it will be easier to look after the people. So from that thought, this Balvantarai Mehta committee has recommended the 3-tier Panchayati Raj. So what are the 3 tiers? At the district level, there will be Zilla Parishad, block level, there will be Panchayat Samiti, and village level, there will be Gram Panchayat. Okay, so these are the 3 tiers in the 3-tier Panchayati Raj system. And later, there were so many amendments were happening, and in 1/3 of the seats reservation was given for women by the 73rd amendment, which happened in 1992. It's 1957, I think. I have not mentioned Panchayati Raj. Okay, the Panchayati Raj Day started to celebrate, that is in April 24, and later in 2004, a Ministry of Panchayati Raj has established. Okay, Ministry of Panchayati Raj has started in 2004, May 27, and later in 2020, there is an e-Gram Swaraj portal. Things were starting to digitalize, right, recently in 2010, 15, 20 times and all, digitalization were happening. So there was an e-Gram Swaraj portal. E-Gram Swaraj portal started to bring transparency in the governance of Panchayati Raj systems. Okay, so this is about Panchayati Raj. And then there are certain technological development programs. See, what happens with the community development program was, it was focusing on the rural development and the development of all the people in all over the country. So what happens is, like, nothing is showing any result. Like, even though it was a success also, the proper result or at that time the production was very less in India, just after this independence, and that time conflicts and all were there. So production was not there much. So people are in actual hunger, actual poverty was happening in the country. So at that time, government decided, instead of spreading the efforts in all over the country, it will be much better if we are selecting certain places and concentrating all the efforts there, so that some visible results for the nation will be coming from that particular districts. So that's how in 1960 Kharif time, in the third FYP, the IADP, Intensive Agriculture District Program, started. So the name itself, D means it's not another, it is district program, Intensive Agriculture District Program. Okay, so here it's also known as the package program. So because regarding the technologies, it's like the cluster of or the package of technologies were involved, given to the same district. Okay, it's based on the concentrating principle. Concentrating principle means what? Concentrating principle means I am giving subsidy to one farmer. I am giving some sample of high yielding variety also to the farmer. I am giving credit linkage to the farmer. So every effort is coordinated in the same place, so that it is giving result to the nation. Okay, so the motto itself is the betting on the strong horse. I think you might have seen this sentence, betting on the strong horse. Why? Because we have selected some very good districts, like which some potential districts, and then we are betting on that. Who will if a horse race is happening, we will be betting on the very strong horse only, right? Similarly, we are the government is betting on the district because it is strengthened by giving all the efforts from all the disciplines. Okay, so it's recommended by second agricultural production team by the Ford Foundation. So the motto is very famous: India's food crisis and the steps to meet it. How we can instead of concentrating on all over the country and all over the people, how we can actually meet the food crisis of India, how to solve it. Based upon that, this program of IADP happened. Okay, and then similarly we have an Intensive Agriculture Area Program, IAAP. IAAP is also It's a little bit of wider one. 20 to 25% of cultivated area of the country were covered, and it initially started in 150 district. Okay, and in 64 we had ICDP, Intensive Cattle Development Project. These all are mainly based upon the agricultural crops and all, mainly like staple crops and all. Later, some livestock is also a part of Indian agriculture. So, Intensive Cattle Development Program. So, same package of improved practices were given for cattle, and it launched in the milk shed areas of major dairy plants. Okay, so where it can be marketed, where it can be more commercialized, that kind of areas were selected, and in that places more improved practices and all were provided. ICDP. And in 66, the major important thing, that HYVP, the high yielding variety program, which led to the green revolution, right? So that happened in 1966. So here what happened? The high yielding, early maturing, photo-insensitive crops, high yielding varieties were given to the farmers, which facilitate multiple cropping. So all our aim was, see, now actually in India grain production is actually more than what we wanted, but in that situation our major aim was to somehow meet to the needs of the people, how somehow produce the grains or produce the crops which will reduce the poverty of the people. So that's how the high yielding varieties started to develop by the system, and those varieties helped in multiple croppings. So in order to provide multiple cropping, we need the packages also included with that. Okay, not only the high yielding varieties, along with that the fertilizers, the IPM managements and INM, everything, like whatever was needed for a high yielding variety to grow, all were provided. Okay, so through this HYVP was the green revolution we call it. So based upon that only, the self-sufficiency in food was that was the main aim of this particular program. It started in Punjab, Haryana and western parts of UP. Okay, so we have many programs which aimed for development with social justice. So, a major problem of the high yielding variety program or IAEP, IADP and all, as we were saying, we were so much concentrated into increasing the productivity or the increasing the agriculture production in the country, so that there was actually a parallel happening of certain unfairness or injustice were also happening, because many a time these all will be benefiting to the farmers who are large farmers or the medium farmers, like who can invest money and who can get the money. So what happened? Who were the small farmers or the marginal farmers who were poor, like the farmers who didn't have any financial security and all, what happened? So the marginalized people remain marginalized. So actually after the HYVP or after the green revolution time and all, the whatever the gap was existing, it actually widened. So based upon that, certain programs were started by the government to improve the the social justice, give the social justice to for an inclusive development. Okay, so that's how in 1970-75, SFDS, Small Farmer Development Agency, and MFAL, Marginal Farmers and Agricultural Laborers Program started. And in 1973, and also see, HYVP was concentrated in the Punjab, Haryana and Western UP and all, where like the actually there are large areas where their farmers are having a large number of areas, large areas of farm, so that some mechanization were possible and all. So what happened? Some areas where the drought prone areas and hilly areas and all, where it is not that much accessible. So the programs were focused on that also. Drought prone area, DPAP program. And in 1974, the most important one, that the training and visit system that happened. And in 1978, we had IRDP. This is also important. Integrated Rural Development Program. And in 1979, try some certain employment programs also. See, not only the farming, but also certain related revival of certain traditional jobs in which is happening in the employment, which is giving employment to the rural people, that were also started. Try some NREP, National Rural Employment Program, development of women and children in rural area, Dwakra. All the years and these schemes are very important. Okay, rather than you are searching for the newer schemes and all, it's better always when you study the basic, the fundamental schemes that happened in the post independence India, which started actually whatever the schemes we are having now, they all are kind of modification of these schemes. So these are the pioneer schemes that happened in that particular area. Okay. And in 1983, we had National Agricultural Extension Project, NAEP. And somehow, I don't know why, because TMO, the Technology Mission on Oilseeds in 1986, it asked so many times in the match the following question, the year and the name, Technology Mission Oilseeds and the year of that. Okay, 1986. And we have many employment programs, that the Jawahar Rozgar Yojana, Employment Assurance Scheme and all. Okay, we will see only the important one. As I was telling, training and visit system, TNV system, is very, very important one. Okay, it started in 1974. 1974, yeah, it started by Daniel Benner actually, and in India, it started in 1974. Actually, in actual practice, it started in Turkey in 1973. In India, it started in Rajasthan. Okay, when you are seeing Rajasthan, I think many of the name already, the first in KVK, the first in Panchayati Raj, not KVK, sorry. KVK started in 1974. The first in Panchayati Raj also Rajasthan only. Whenever you study any year, try to relate it with where we have studied before, where I have studied the year before. Okay, 1974 you have seen. So just before we have seen about the KVK, right? So just think like that. When you, if you are not getting, just like go through the textbook, the like instant extension education or whatever book you are studying, just go through it once. Even if you are not getting the answer also, when you just see the pages, when you are just go through it, revising it, means it will just unconsciously it will go into your mind. Okay, not always take your phone and text, like it's not a good method always. Sometimes reading the textbook or like going through the pages simply, even if you are not actively studying also, will make an impact. Okay, what we are telling about TNV system. So TNV system started in 1974 and it covered the entire country in 1985. The problem with the TNV system is it's a centralized approach and it followed a top-down approach. Even though TNV system was considered as one of the very successful programs in the country, it followed a top-down approach. Top-down means what the experts or the top level people or the experts or the officials say, the farmers or the target population has to do that. There is no going back, like the feedback process was not happening. Okay, so the concept of contact farmer started. So contact farmer is the one who is connecting to other farmers. Okay, so as if I am a village level extension worker, I will be connecting to the contact farmer. That contact farmer will be going to the other fellow farmers. So in that way, the reach of the program can be given to more number of farmers. So certain features are there for TNV system. The professionalism were maintained, like as a in a nationwide program. There were certain proper trainings were going on, certain recording of the things were going on. So a professionalism was maintained. A single line of command. It was a top-down approach, as we are saying. So from the top, there was a single line of command under the state level officer, zonal level manager. There were block level were there. So under the block level, village extension were there. So there was each and every person know from whom I should take the command. See, TNV was the first extension program which applied the management principles in extension. Okay, management principles. We study management also in extension, right? So why? So actually we can apply those things in extension programs in effect. So instead, in fact, TNV was the first program to apply managerial principles. So there were concentration of efforts, time bound work were there. So each person has given some days to work, some days to visit, some days to training. So time bound work was happening, field and farmer orientation, regular and continuous training, and linkage with research, that also given. And there is certain organization in TNV that you can remember. So there was certain ratio of extension agent to farmer recommended in TNV, that is 1:800 in general, to 1:250 in hilly areas and 1:400 in irrigated areas. So each village extension worker, they cover about 8 to 12 villages, and this people, they visit contact farmer in every fortnight. So it's very time specific, time bound works were happening. Okay, so in a week in village extension worker, they devote 4 days for field visit and 1 day in service training and 1 day for unscheduled visits. So 8 VEWs or the village extension workers were supervised by agricultural extension officers, and 8 of them were supervised by the district extension officers, and 3 to 5 SMSs will be assisting each district extension officers. Okay. So, and the higher level supervision was given by the zonal extension officer and directorate of extension. Just to understand. Okay. And another one of the program is IRDP, or the Integrated Rural Development Program, which started in 1978. It is also known as the Anti-Poverty Alleviation Program. Anti-Poverty Alleviation Program. Okay. So, this is mainly to provide assistance to the families in BPL. BPL is below poverty line. Okay. So, as the name indicate, the main thing was to anti-poverty or poverty alleviation program. So, it covered the whole country by 1980, and how they implemented the programs through DRDA, District Rural Developmental Agency, at the district level, and they had a family approach. Okay, instead of like approaching only the farm, like the individual person or the main person, the whole family was considered. Central and state fund of 50-50 was given. So, how did they aimed for poverty alleviation? How they acted? So, the goal of poverty alleviation is mainly through two main instruments. One is self-employment schemes and another is wage employment schemes. Self-employment schemes means, see, if I am working as a carpenter, so I have my own work to do, like my own job is there. So, it's like providing the necessary skills so that I start my own job. That is a self-employment. I can start my own works. Okay, but I need all the support for that. Maybe the skill, maybe the knowledge, maybe the market structure, like support and all. The support can be given by the government, but the employment is started and conducted by me only, self-employment. Whereas wage employment is that where you can think about the MG Narega program. Okay, so what happens? The government is giving wage to them. Government is giving the job. The government is giving wage to them. 100 working days are there. So, in that day, they will be working and government is giving money to them. That is the wage employment program as a worker to the government, like wage to the government. Wage employment program. Say, for example, Trisam and Wakra, they are training of rural youth, right? So, the training and the capacity building, those things were emphasized in the self-employment schemes, whereas in wage employment schemes, like RLEGP or like MG Narega and all, the wage employment, the money is given as wage. The support alleviation, see, for the poverty alleviation, the support was given in the form of wages to the people. So, there was a subsidy of 25% to small farmers, 33 to marginal farmers, agricultural labourers and non-agricultural labourers and rural artisans, and 50% for SC/ST families. The thing is, these things are very frequently will come for each and every schemes, but you have to remember it. But they will ask specifically, and for small families, what is the subsidy? For farmers, what will be the subsidy? For women, what will be the subsidy? For SC/ST, what is the subsidy under each program? Okay, you have to study. There is no other way. And then there are certain things that is a little bit of complicated, because that will be changing name. Certain schemes will be merging after one another. That is always a little bit confusion is there. So, we have the Jawahar Rozgar Yojana. Jawahar Rozgar Yojana is an employment scheme. It started, JRY started in 1989. So, it started by merging two programs, that is NREP and RLEGP, National Rural Employment Program and Rural Land Employment Program, Guarantee Act. Oh, I forgot the name. Yeah, see. Okay, NREP only, I think I have mentioned only NREP here. National Rural Employment Program and RLEGP, these both were combined together to form the Jawahar Rozgar Yojana in 1989. Okay, so it is aimed for the generation of additional gainful employment for the unemployed and underemployed rural men and women. Unemployed and underemployed rural men and women, there will be certain criteria under which they will be considered as the underemployed people. Okay, so for them, the Jawahar Rozgar Yojana started in 1989. And then we had the EAS scheme, the Employment Assurance Scheme, which started in 1993. So EAS gave wage employment for 100 days in lean agriculture season. So in majority in rural areas and all, people were dependent on the agriculture season. But what happens in the lean agriculture season, when the crop like the harvesting is not there, that fallow period, in that time period, this EAS scheme provided wage employment to the people. Okay, and then in 1999, there is SGSY came, Swarna Jayanti Gram Sarosgar Yojana. 1999, Swarna Jayanti Gram Sarosgar Yojana came. So this is like an umbrella scheme that many existing programs were merged together. Many existing programs were merged together to form the Swarna Jayanti Gram Sarosgar Yojana, SGSY. Okay, so which were the schemes? We had IRDP, Dwakra, Trisam, Citra, and this is for rural artisans, and MWP, Million Well Program, and GKY, Ganga Kalyan Yojana, GKY. So all these were combined together in SGSY program. So this is also an important program. So why SGSY came? See, I think the people who are from the south side of India, if you are not that much familiar with Hindi and all, the names must be a little bit difficult for you to remember and all. Just remember Swarozgar. Swarozgar means self-employment. Okay, so all these programs you are seeing, Dwakra, Trisam and all, they were for self-employment, for giving the training and like capacity building for the people. Okay, so it is aimed at creating income generated asset through a mixture of bank credit and government subsidies. That was aim of SGSY. And then we had Jawahar Gram Samriddhi Yojana or GJSY. They will sound very similar, I know, but there is no actually other option to see. That is the JGSY, the Jawahar Gram Samriddhi Yojana. So what changed here? Our JRY or the Jawahar Rozgar Yojana, it changed to JGSY and later it is merged with the SGRY. So what is SGRY? SGRY is the Sambhurna Gramin Rozgar Yojana, SGRY. Okay, so this JRY has changed into JGSY and then it came to merge with this SGRY. SGRY is Sambhurna Gramin Rozgar Yojana. Okay, so this SGRY is actually a mix of JGSY, like this one, and ES, Employment Assurance Scheme, and the Food for Work. Okay, it's a little bit confused, I'm sure, but the thing is, these are some of the initial employment schemes that happened in the country, and it is very necessary also to remember. Okay, and then we had Annapurna Yojana in 1999, which provides food security to senior citizen. Annapurna Yojana, and Antyodaya Anna Yojana or AAY started in 2000, which to help the poorest of the poor. Okay, the program launched to help the poorest of the poor, that is known as the Antyodaya Anna Yojana. Okay, so like under TPDS is Targeted Public Distribution System. There are 1 crore families were benefited through Antyodaya Anna Yojana program. The price were also asked. For wheat it was 2 rupees per kg and for rice it is 3 rupees per kg. Okay, so that in that rate the like staple food, the rice and wheat were provided to people under TPDS, Targeted Public Distribution System. And then we have many infrastructure development programs. Okay, infrastructure development programs include mainly NATP, very important, National Agriculture Technology Project, and then NAIP, National Agriculture Innovation Project, NREGA, later modified, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, and okay, this one. Coming to the NATP, which is very important, National Agricultural Technology Project. Why NATP is important? Because under NATP, we have 2 very important things, that is one is Atma and another is ATIC. Okay, so NATP is started by ICAR. So this is one of the project that is World Bank financed after TNV. TNV were also World Bank financed. After that, NATP was funded by World Bank. So there were many components under the ITD component. ITD means innovation component, technology development component under NATP, Atma and ATIC were formulated. Okay, ATIC means Agricultural Technology Information Center. 1998. See, many of the people were asking whether it is this Atma is started in 1998, or whether it is in 2005, or whether it is in 2010, and all, like many questions were coming. Actually, you have to remember, both Atma and ethics are formulated under NATP only. Okay. So ethic started in 1990. So both of them, now normally both of them started in 1998-99 time period only. Okay. So ethic will be, you can see that in ICAR institutes and SAUs, mostly we will say at the entrance of ICAR institutes and SAUs. Okay. So at the because for the easier access to the people, ethic has started as like a single window system of technology delivery. Okay, technology will be available to many places. Like ICR has many research institutions. So where can a person can go and ask about all this. So as a result of that, this 8 ethic information center to provide all the necessary information and advisory services. Single window system has started by ICR institutes and the SAUs. Okay, initially 44 ethics were there. It is under direct administrative control of Deputy Director Extension of ICR. And yeah, I think I repeated. And coming to the ATMA, that is Agricultural Technology Management Agency. So remember, both ethic and ATMA were developed under NATP. Okay. And so what I mean by ATMA? ATMA is an autonomous organization which works at the district level. I think many of the years, even though we studied so many things, they will just ask about at what level ATMA operates. ATMA operates at district level. Okay. So it integrates many people, research institutions, extension organizations, and all stakeholders at the district level. Okay. So it's a registered body. It's a registered body for technology dissemination at the district level. So initially, ATMA started at 28 districts of 7 states for 5 years. And later, it is expanded to 252 districts in 2005 under the scheme Support to State Extension Program for Extension Reforms. Okay. So in 2005, there was a program scheme Support to State Extension Program for Extension Reforms. So under that, the ATMA was extended to 252 districts. So in many times, like many places, it is wrongly quoted as ATMA has started in 2005. It's not started in 2005. It started in 1998 only, but it is expanded in 2005. Okay, first a reform came in 2005. And by 2007, it is covered. All the districts in India now have a KVK. Okay, so it is the Apex Training Institute at the state level, ATMA. And the training support to ATMA is given by SAMETI. SAMETI means State Agricultural Management Extension Training Institute. State Agricultural Management Extension Training Institute, SAMETI. So SAMETI gives training support to ATMA. Okay, so there will be 33% fund for women will be spent by ATMA. And okay, so this is like the organizational structure of ATMA. Okay, so at the district level, there is ATMA, and ATMA has 2 parts, that is the governing board and the ATMA Management Committee, AMC. And coming to the block level, in block level, there is FIAC, or the Farm Information and Advisory Centers, Farm Information and Advisory Centers, and BTT, Block Technology Team, and Farmers Advisory Committee, FAC, Farmer Advisory Committee. So these all act as the FIAC, or the Farm Information Advisory Centers, BTT, and FAC. All these act at the block level. And at the village level, there is public like extension workers are there, private institutions and NGOs, para extension workers, input dealers. So they all will be constituting to different farmer interest group, FIGs. So they will be giving whatever they will be asking, like giving all the feedback to the block level teams, and they will be formulating certain plans, and they will be given to the AMC and GB and AMC. They will be together working in ATMA at the district level. Okay. So there are 2 bodies that is very important for ATMA governing body and ATMA management committee. So governing body is like the governance, the policy making body or the advisory body of ATMA, whereas AMC or the ATMA management committee is like the planning committee, or like the whoever is managing the day-to-day activities that is happening in the Atma. Okay, so who is chairing each? The Atma governing body is chaired by the district collector, whereas AMC was chaired by the project director. Okay, so it has 16 members with 2 years of lifetime, like the project, the chair time, and the AMC has 12 members in that. The main purpose, like the main activity of governing body, is to review and approve SREP, or the Strategic Research and Extension Plan. Review and approve. So what is this Strategic Research and Extension Plan? So this is a plan which is developed at the district level, okay, by Atma. So that which is taking suggestion and like the recommendation from all the block level and the village level feedbacks and all. Okay, so who prepares this? Atma Management Committee. And we have NAIP, the National Agricultural Innovation Project, NAIP. NAIP is also important, which is a World Bank assisted program, facilitate an accelerated and sustainable transformation of Indian agriculture. Okay, and we have one of the very important program, that is MG Narega, the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, that is now changed the name also, MG Narega. Okay, so MG Narega. So this act, initially the name was National Rural Employment Guarantee Act only, NRAGA. So the act has passed in the parliament in 2005. Okay, the act has passed in 2005, but it is launched in 2006 in 200 districts. At least 100 days of wage employment was promised in a financial year. So the adult members volunteer to do unskilled manual labor. So it is given for the adult members who is volunteer to do unskilled manual labor. Okay, so the central government, okay, that is not needed. Then MG Narega has covered the entire country in 2008, and it changed the name to MG Narega, or like Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act in 2009 in October 2. So recently, as you knowing, the name has again changed, that we will see. Okay, so according to MG Narega scheme, the employment has to be provided within 5 kilometers of the applicant's residence. Okay, and within the 15 days of applying, if I am applying for MG Narega program, I should get a job, like the wage employment should be given within the 14 days of applying. If not, and it should be within 5 kilometers of my radius also, and if not, 10% extra wage will be given to the member. Okay, and it is implemented by the Gram Panchayat. So this is, as you know, the now again the naming of the program has changed. Now the name is Vikasit Bharat G Ramji Act, right, 2025. Vikasit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin. That is the full form. So like became a little bit again complex for you to study. Vikasit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin Act. Okay, in 225, there are certain few like additional like changes were happening in this scheme. So initially it was 100 days of wage employment, right? So now that has increased into 125 days, and certain proposed works like priority areas were given, like water security, rural infrastructure, livelihood infrastructure, and climate resilience. 4 priority areas are there, and then support to agriculture was provided, because they proposed a pause in work, like when the agriculture season is there, total of 60 days in the program in the year, 60 days the program will be paused, considering the peak sowing and harvesting season, so that people should not contradict from the agriculture and this Rural Employment Act. Okay, to avoid that, there was a pause in the acting in this year in 60 days during the peak sowing and harvesting days. Okay, and then there is some digitalization also included in the program. Just remember the name. Okay, and then before going into a large number of schemes and all, we should not forget some of the basic things related to agriculture. So National Agriculture Policy started in the year 2000. NCF, National Commission on Farmers, started in 2004, chaired by Sopal Singh and MS Swaminathan. And National Commission on Agriculture, National Commission on Farmers, National Commission on Agriculture, 1975. the report submitted in 1976. See, different years you will see in different places. Okay, the commission was formulated in 1970, but the report was submitted in 1976. Mr. Randwa was the chair on that. And National Agricultural Development Program started in 2007, and National Policy for Farmers started in 2007, and certain farm laws were formulated in 2020. Okay, yeah, these were that. And now we have many schemes. See, remembering everything, as I was saying before, now also I don't remember each and every scheme. It's almost impossible. But certain schemes which is like very important at that point of time, that you have to remember, and it is available in our textbooks also. Okay. So one is Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, RKVY. Okay, it started in 2007. But the thing is, recently it can be asked RKVY Raftar program. I think it has asked also. The full form of RKVY Raftar has asked. So why Raftar component has included? Raftar means remunerative approaches for the agriculture and allied sector rejuvenation. Remunerative approaches. So in this time period, like in recent times, what you mean by the remunerative approach? Definitely it is going to the business or the agripreneur or the entrepreneurship direction. So this Raftar component, it is the whole RKVY project has renamed as Raftar. Oh no, I think I mistaken the year. It's not 2007. Okay, 2007 is the initial starting, RKVY starting. Okay, it is renamed as Raftar for strengthening infrastructure in agriculture and allied sectors to promote agripreneurship. So the main aim of this RKVY Raftar is to improve or promote agripreneurship. Okay, so it has main two components. One is innovation component and agri-entrepreneurship development component. So like entrepreneurship, I think you already studied about entrepreneurship. For that, we need an innovation and entrepreneurship development component. Both are equally promoted. Okay, so it has 5 knowledge partners. 5 knowledge partners including IRI, Manage, NIAM, US Dharwad, and AAU, Assam Agricultural University, Jorhat, and US University of Agricultural Sciences, Dharwad. These are the 5 knowledge partners of RKVY Raftar. So there are certain RKVY Raftar agri-business incubation schemes, or ABI, or the RABI schemes. Okay, agri-business incubation schemes are there. It include agripreneurship orientation programs were given, and then idea or pre-seed stage funding. Pre-seed stage funding means before starting, like to start the idea development, the like MVP and all, we will say, like the like marketable viable prototype development and all. Pre-seed funding were provided, and startup agribusiness incubation programs, SABIP. Okay, SABIP were started. So all these were started under the RKVY Raftar program. And we have NMAT. Why it is important? Definitely, we are studying agricultural extension. So, National Mission on Agricultural Extension and Technology is very important. Started in 2010. This is a modified reform of Atma. See, that's why in some textbook, Atma is started in 2010. That's like that also in some textbook it is given. Okay, don't confuse with all this. This is a modified reform of Atma. Under that, we have 4 submission. You have to remember each. Okay, 4 submission. Submission on agricultural extension, submission on seed and planting material, submission on agricultural mechanization, and submission on plant protection and plant quarantine. See, ACABC program, DAISY program, or KCC. ACABC means Agri Clinics and Agri Business Centers, or DAISY means Diploma in Agricultural Extension for input dealers, and KCC means Kisan Call Centers. All these were started as a part of submission in agricultural extension. Yeah, definitely PYQ will help. I think already the solved PYQ questions are there. It is available in the portal. You can do that. And definitely the discussion also will be coming. And Kisan Credit Card. Kisan Credit Card in 1998 to 99, the first KCI, see, some problem with the farmers is like sometimes the credit availability. They won't have financial availability to start a new crop or to start any new technology or something. So, making sure that the farmers are getting the credit easily was one of the main like aim of the government. So that's how the Kisan Credit Card started. So the first KCC was issued by SBI Bank. Okay, I think this has asked before. It's a short-term loan given to the farmers, and when the farmer applies, it should be given within 14 days. That's very important. Within 2 weeks of time, the loan should be implemented, and it's a collateral-free loan. You don't need to keep any collaterals to avail the loan. Up to 2 lakhs it will be given. Okay, so the interest rate, the specification is that interest rate is as low as 4% per annum, and the loan limit was increased from 3 lakh to 5 lakh in like 25-26 budget also. Okay, so here the repayment schedule are linked to the crop harvesting cycle, which means when only after the harvesting only like farmers will be having money, right, to repay. So the banks consider, it's not like every month they will have money. At the time of repayment, the harvesting, the repayment can be taken. And we have ACABC, Agri-Clinic and Agri-Business Centers, which is formulated by Manage, launched by the government of India and funded by NABARD. Okay, formulated by Manage. So it's like a 2 months of training will be provided for Manage. Okay, so first ACABC was launched in Vapi in Bulsar district of Rajasthan, Gujarat, and there is certain subsidy will be given to the people, 36% for general people and 44% for SC/ST women and Northeast persons. So that is a subsidy. So it's like subsidy as well as a ceiling cost also will be given to the people who want to start agri business. Okay, maximum ceiling cost is 20 lakh per person and 1 crore for a group. Okay. And Kisan call centers to provide information to the farming community through toll-free telephonic numbers. What is the toll-free number? 1800 1800 180 1551. So this is a regular question that asked very regularly in our examination, and the time is from 6 AM to 10 PM. It operates at 3 levels. In the first level at the agri-graduate level, second level at the SMS level, and third level at the management group. They acts at 22 languages. And these are some of the similar examples. I think I can skip it. And one important one, the E-NAM, the E-National Agricultural Market. I think in economics also they might have covered it. So in it started in 2016 under the code the One Nation, One Market. So it's an electronic trading portal. Okay, so it's why it is implemented to assure the transparent price discovery for remunerative crops for the farmers. Okay, so there will be a competitive online bidding system so that in the entire nation can join together in one platform. Okay, so all at that time all the 585 APMCs were joined. As of now there is 1656 mandis were linked to APM E-NAM portal, and highest E-NAM mandis are in Tamil Nadu now. Like earlier it was in Rajasthan, as of now it is in Tamil Nadu, and some warehouse based trading module and FPO module were now included. And these are some of the very recent scheme, that is the Namo Drone Didi scheme, which is started in 2023. Namo Drone Didi to empower the rural women by training them as drone pilots. So it's like now this drone technology is also happening. So generally what happens, the the new technologies will be given to the men, right? Men will be taking care of the technologies and all. But this program specifically focused on rural women, and it gave them certain like specific period, 15 days of training also given, and they provide drone also to women SHGs under the DNRLM program. Okay, so and this one is very important, that is 2026, the Bharat Vistar program. Bharat Vistar, what is the full form of Vistar? Virtually integrated system to access agricultural resources. So as this digital agriculture was developing, so it is like a portal where all the things like all the levels, like at the farmer level, at the institutional level, at the like other analysis and all were connected and computed in one platform, that is the virtually integrated system to assess agricultural resources. So it's a platform that make use of the AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, so this is an AI powered multilingual. Multilingual means the people can access at the different languages. Voice first. IVRs, interactive voice response system is there. It's a digital public infrastructure platform. Okay, so it provides reliable, real-time and location-specific agricultural information across practices. The AI advisory will be provided. Schemes, see, it is like one app is there and some chatbots are there. Bharti is there, like that is one chat box. There you can use your voice. So even illiterate farmers are also they can also use through their voice to get to know about AI advisory, artificial intelligence advisory will be given, like the custom made advisory will be given to them. Information regarding schemes will be given, and unified integration with state land record and localized extension services. So it's not only like the when they ask about certain things, the AI system it will analyze in which region it is from and the agroclimatic situation on that, and what is the land records from the government and all available. All these will be considered. Okay, so even not only for the farmers but also for the researchers, extension workers, everyone can access information from a single platform. That is the Bharat Vistar program, which started in 2026. Okay, it's a very recent scheme, but there is a high chance that it can be asked, at least the full form, not maybe very in-depth one. Okay, and then recently the Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana also started, Dhan Dhanya. This is also a 2025-2026 program only. Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. So Dhan Dhanya is like, it is basically, as of now you understand, we have so many schemes under agricultural system is going on. So this is like a umbrella scheme to converge so many agricultural schemes that is currently existing. Okay, so to enhance the agricultural productivity, increase the farmers income and ensure security in 100 aspirational districts. 100 aspirational district. What do you mean by aspirational district? Aspirational district is like some of the low yielding or like the low productive district. Okay, so from each state, certain district which is not high performing districts, they were selected, and in those selected district, hundreds district, how to increase the agricultural productivity, income and all. For that, this Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana started. Okay, so it consolidated 36 existing agricultural schemes across 11 ministries. So see, in Ministry of Rural Development also have many schemes which is related to agriculture, and finance also, financial ministry also. So many schemes, 36 agricultural schemes across 11 ministries were converged under this Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. Okay, so in 25-26 like budget, there is 24,000 crore financial outlay was given for this scheme. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. As I was saying before, this is very hectic, I know, for 2.5 hours to listen to any class. But see, whatever you feel important to you, you can listen to that. And always you can go back and check with the textbooks. You have to. And the schemes, regarding the schemes, as I was saying, it is not at all a thing to get so much worried upon. Okay, because when you are searching about Krishi Vistar, you will like Bharat Vistar, you will get 1,000 results. So what to study, what not to study, that confusion is always will be there. It will be there. But understand, this is just one part of your syllabus, so don't get so much worried upon that. It's just, it will be one question, maximum 1 or 2 questions will be there from the recent schemes only. All the other things will be from your textbook only, you can remember. Okay, so as I was saying again, it is still, there is time for you to practice few mock test and all, so you can practice with this. And if you are someone who is preparing for 27 or 28, we have batches for that also. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you. PYQ discussion will be there. It will be provided. Okay. I think I have taken a little bit more time today. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next class.